Excellent. You chose unwisely. Well done. Get over here!
Уважаемые гости, дорогие преподаватели, аспиранты и студенты.
Welcome to the Institute of Foreign Languages of the People's Friendship University of Russia, to the international scientific battle between the postgraduates and students Lingua Slam.
Сегодня в научной битве сразится великолепная семерка игроков из России, Китая, Туниса, Бангладеша и Ливана. Задача каждого – рассказать о главных научных идеях современности и собственных научных исследованиях в области языка, методики преподавания иностранных языков и межкультурной коммуникации.
Today, a magnificent 7 players from Russia, China, Tunisia, Bangladesh, and Lebanon will compete in the scientific battle. Everyone's task to tell about the leading scientific ideas of our time and their research in the field of language, methods of teaching foreign languages, and intercultural communication.
Lingua Slam 3 главных правила. Только собственные научные исследования. Не больше 10 минут на выступление. Научное шоу должно быть увлекательным и понятным широкой публике. А в остальном разрешено все, кроме скуки и заумных терминов.
Lingua Slam has 3 primary rules. Only your scientific research, no more than 10 minutes per performance. A science show should be fun and understandable to the public. Otherwise, everything is allowed, except boredom and abstruse terms.
Дорогие зрители и слушатели, после выступления слэмеру можно задать 3 вопроса. Тот, кто задаст самый интересный вопрос, в будущем получит замечательный подарок – флешку. Мы запишем, кто задаст самый лучший вопрос.
Dear viewers, after the performance, you can ask Slammer 3 questions. The one who asks the most interesting question will receive a flash device as a gift. So we will record the one who is the most interesting.
Hello, good morning, Lingua Slammers. How are you doing? So allow me to introduce myself. Oh, it's so sunny in here. I can't see myself in the camera. So yeah, my name is Melliti. I'm 25 years old. I'm from Tunisia. This is Tunisia. And I'm doing my master's in English Applied Linguistics, second course. I'm a Zumba coach. I love anime, let's say, because anime is in French. So I watch anime a lot. And I'm so into animals. The things I really hate about people is people who try to discourage you. I hate negative people and negativity. I hate, I don't like someone who is always telling lies just to bring people down. And those kind of stuff. I'm more into optimistic and ambitious lifestyle. So I've decided to join Lingua Slam because I felt like I need to experience new things. I need to know more people around the world. And since I'm working on my dissertation, so I kind of have some time to spend on these things. I also want to listen to people's experiences and exchange them and exchange my mind with them. So yeah, off you go. So let's go and let's get it, the Lingua Slam battle.
Great. And we continue with the visit card. So, Sarah Melliti, Tunisia, age 25, University of Carthage, Institute of Languages, faculty ISLT, the student of the second year Master's English Applied Linguistics. I'm an animal lover person, my mental age, -2. I'm a Zumba coach and I love anime. So please, let's meet Sarah Melliti from Tunisia, non-verbal communication across cultures.
Let me to better introduce myself. My name is Sarah Melliti, as Petrova said, and I'm 25 years old. I'm Tunisian, and I'm an English student in the second course of Masters in English Applied Linguistics, and I've been working as an English teacher as well. I speak Arabic, French, English, and a little bit of German. And this is another picture of me. Now let's figure out more about me. Yes, so as far as my likes are concerned, I'm fond of makeup and I love playing paintball. I admire sleeping, and I'm a dancer, and also I'm a pet lover. So I also behave as a good person until someone wakes me up when I'm asleep, or someone who is eating out loud, and this noise really annoys me, and someone who tries to chase after my boyfriend, and I never, ever, ever share my food. So as I said, I'm from Tunisia, and let's figure out more about my country. So this is the map. It contains 24 states. It's surrounded by the Mediterranean Sea, Algeria, Libya, as you can see. The surface is 164,000 kilometers square. And this is Tunisia. So this is Russia, and this is Tunisia compared to Russia. So as a Tunisian person, I always feel like this guy while trying to look for my country in the world map. So so it's gonna the distance from Russia to Tunisia is like 7,028 kilometers. So it's gonna take a whole century for you to walk from Russia to Tunisia, and you will be ending up like this puppy. I'm done, just scaring me. So let's get things more serious. This is Tunisia. So it's located in North Africa. It has 12 million inhabitants. We speak Tunisian Arabic and French. And Tunisian Arabic is a mixture of Amazigh, Barbarian, and Standard Arabic. And our traditional meal is couscous. And this is couscous. But I'm really bad at describing food because I'm really bad at cooking. So now I'm going to talk about the nonverbal communication across cultures. So the study of nonverbal communication, So the study of nonverbal communication started in the 1872, with the publication of the expression of the emotion in the men and animals by Charles Darwin. And this is the publication. So Darwin began to study nonverbal communication as he noticed the interactions between animals like lions, tigers, and he realized that they really communicated by gestures and expressions. So nonverbal communication is the transmission of messages or signals through a nonverbal platform. It also involves the conscious and the unconscious processes of encoding and decoding. Encoding here is defined as our ability to express our emotions in a way that can be accurately interpreted by the receiver. And decoding, also called nonverbal sensitivity, it is defined as the ability to take this encoded emotion from the speaker and correctly interpret the meaning and accurately interpret it in order to reach what the sender intended to say. So whether you like it or not, when you interact with others, you're continuously giving and receiving wordless signals. So the wordless signals always outnumber the wording ones. And all of your nonverbal behaviors, like the gestures you make, your posture, your tone, how much eye contact you maintain, all these send strong messages. And as you can see here, always a nonverbal communication outnumber the verbal communication. So this letter, it can put people at ease, build trust, and draw others towards you, but can also be offending, confusing, and sometimes it becomes really confusing to the point that people cannot get what you're trying to convey. So these messages don't stop when you stop speaking either. Even when you're silent, you're still communicating non-verbally. So as far as the importance of nonverbal communication is concerned, so it can play 5 roles. The first is repetition. So it repeats and often strengthens the message you're making verbally. In other words, me as a person, when I try to express happiness, I'm gonna scream, I'm gonna say like, oh, I'm so glad that something is happening to me. But my nonverbal or my body language will act accordingly. So I'm not gonna, for example, express happiness by biting nails or scratching my arm, but I'm just gonna jump or try to express my happiness even more. And as far as contradiction is concerned, so in some instances, what comes out of your mouth and what you communicate through your body language can be totally different things. So if you say one thing like, I don't know, you express something, but your body language says something else. So the listener will likely feel that you're being dishonest. So an example of this, that you might say yes while shaking your head saying no. So when faced with such mixed signals, the listener has to choose whether to believe your verbal language or non-verbal language. And since body language is natural and unconscious, so they will likely end up choosing the non-verbal message over the verbal one, because you cannot really like have a total control of your non-verbal communication and body language. Also, we have substitution. So sometimes you can substitute a verbal message with a non-verbal message. I'm going to give you a context. For example, you're sitting in a public space and somebody acted in a weird way, but you cannot say anything about it. So you will just do some facial expression like, what on earth is this person doing? So this can convey that you are showing some disgust or some shocking attitude, but without saying a single word. Complimenting as well. So this, we can use it as teachers. We often use that. As a teacher, you can praise your student. You can tell him how much hardworking he is and how much effort he's putting in your course, and you're really proud of him. But while saying this, you might also rub his shoulder. So this nonverbal gesture can increase the impact of your message on your student. We have accenting as well. The same context within the classroom. So you might teach a very noisy classroom and students are not paying attention to what you're saying, but you need to point out to something important like homework or the date of the exam or anything else. So you pound on the table or you knock on the whiteboard just to underline and to highlight the importance of your message. So the nonverbal communication has several types. First one is facial expressions. The human face is extremely expressive and is able to convey countless and endless emotions without saying a word. So facial expressions are likely to be, and probably are, universal. So for example, the facial expressions of happiness, sadness, anger, fear, and disgust are same across cultures, and it's universal. Eye contact. Eye contact is a very important type of nonverbal communication. So the way you look at someone can communicate many things like interest or hostility, attraction, and even seduction. So eye contact is really important in maintaining the flow of the conversation. But it differs across cultures in the sense that in cultures such as Arab and Asian cultures, people avoid eye contact in situations where being scolded by the teacher, for example, or showing some respect to older people. So not maintaining eye contact in these cultures and in this situation is required and appreciated. Unlike Western cultures, like the American culture, not maintaining eye contact is really considered as a way of neglect, carelessness, and even impoliteness. So for example, let's take two different situations in two different cultures. In Tunisian here, when the teacher is scolding and is blaming the student for not doing their homework, you should never ever keep an eye contact with the teacher. Whereas as an American, you need to look at him in the eyes. So you see the difference. We have also body movement and posture. So the way you stand, the way you sit, the way you walk, the way you hold your stuff, all these communicates a wealth of information to the world about you. So the type of nonverbal communication includes your posture as well. Kinetics, or touching. We communicate a great deal through touching. Think about, think about the very different messages given by a weak handshake. So I can handshake someone, but weakly, and I can convey that I'm not really into handshaking with him and I don't really like him. Whereas a strong handshaking can convey appreciation, happiness, or that you're glad that you have seen that person. Also, a warm bear hug, or a pat on the head, controlling grip on the arm, all these convey feelings and attitudes. For example, Arab people touch each other a lot. We do that. We always kiss, we always shake hands, grip each other's arm as a way of closeness, even in public spaces. So I'm gonna share my personal experiences as far as this type of nonverbal communication is concerned. My aunt, my mother's sister, does this too much when talking to me. So like each time we get into a conversation, she keeps hitting and squeezing my shoulder until it really becomes painful, like really, really painful. So whenever we decide to talk about something, I make sure that I'm sitting far from her, where she can only use her mouth to communicate. So please no touching because it's gonna hurt me later. Also, we have the space or proxemics. So let me ask you a question. So have you ever felt uncomfortable during a conversation because the other person is standing too close to you, like invading your personal space? We all have this need of physical space, but it differs from culture to another, and the situation as well, and the closeness of the relationship. So you might stand closer to a friend than to a stranger, for example. So the space really differs. You can use physical space to communicate different things like intimacy, affection, aggression, and even dominance. And as Arab people and Tunisians in particular, they always tend to be too close to one another, no matter what the nature of the relationship between them was. Like they really get too close, but in some cases with strangers in the public spaces, they feel like a kind of discomfort when someone gets too close to them when they don't know him. And I can share, allow me to share a personal experience concerning this. So I have been to Turkey as a global volunteer, and I have experienced a really awkward situation concerning this point. I had a friend from Romania, and each time we talk, I get too close to her as a way of socialization and harmony. Like I really have no bad intentions at all. And one day we had been talking, and unconsciously I got too close to her. So she was shocked, and I said, "What? Is everything all right?" She said, "No, Sarah, but can I ask you a question?" I said, "Yes, sure." She said, "Do you have any particular sexual orientation? Are you lesbian?" I said, What makes you think that way?" She said, "Okay, each time we communicate, you get too close to me, so I kind of feel like you're attracted to me." I said, "No, this can't be possible. Like, I'm just trying to be more close to you as a friend and nothing else." So this can really create misunderstanding. Paralinguistics as well. So this includes factors like the tone of voice, loudness, inflection, and pitch. So the voice and your pitch, the way you speak, all these can communicate a lot of information about your personality and your attitude. So like it differs, for example, from saying aha or So they both have different meanings. And Tunisians are really, really, really loud. Whether at home, during family gatherings, or in public spaces, everyone must hear what others are talking about. We always tend to hear each other's stories because our voice is really loud. Yes, so now let's move to the we have the same gestures, but they convey different meanings. For example, this gesture in the UK and the USA, they convey like okay, whereas in Russia, it can be as okay and also zero. Japan means money, and Brazil means insult. Whereas this gesture in Egypt, in the Arab countries, in general, they all convey, or this gesture conveys the be patient. Okay, so when someone does like this, means just be patient or hold on a second. Whereas in Italy, like, what do you mean? And in Greece means that's just perfect. And the same gesture in America means that you're a loser, whereas in China it means only 8, just innocently 8. This also, the tugging earlobes. So in Portuguese, it means that the food is really tasty, whereas in Italy, this gesture has sexual connotations. So please, guys, if any of you has gone to an Italian restaurant and done this gesture, be careful. You don't do this gesture unless you want to end up in somebody's arms. And we have also in Spain, so like to convey that someone is not really paying for their drinks. The hearty nose blow in the West is normal, whereas is not acceptable in Japanese countries, let's say cultures, sorry. And the tapping your nose means that you are confidential in England, but watch out in Italy. This is an example of nonverbal misunderstanding across cultures. So as you can see, that the woman is really trying to handshake the man, that maybe because of his religious orientation or maybe cultural difference, so he cannot, he wasn't able to share this handshaking with her. Also this, so you can see that the Asian guy is taking a bow, whereas the American man thinking that that person is awfully interested in his shoes. So this really shows how nonverbal communication across culture can really, really cause miscommunication. So this is the remedy, how to deal with cross-cultural nonverbal communication. First of all, culture must be taught along with language. So there is no separation between culture and language. They both go hand in hand. And language is by definition culturally shaped. So we need to keep them together in order to get a good understanding of the target language's culture, as well as the linguistic side of that language, let's say. And the intercultural coaching is also required when traveling or communicating with people who are culturally different from one's. And this also is highly demanded and required in political relationships. Tolerance, awareness of difference, acceptability, and judging exclusion are key factors to maintain intercultural relationships. Also, intercultural communication, or ICC. These studies need to be more conducted, and people must be more encouraged to develop their intercultural communicative competence. And thank you for your attention.
Thank you so much. Bravo, Sarah. And just may I be the first one to ask you the question?
Sure.
Sarah, can you share your own experience as being a teacher to your students? What kind of types of nonverbal communication do you use personally to attract their attention and maybe just for them to perceive information better?
Okay, sometimes especially when I try to not to communicate in their native language, for example, in Turkey. So I don't speak Turkish and they don't speak English at all. So we need to find, let's say, a mutual language in which we both can communicate. And their level in English is not really that high in order to understand me. So each time I try to convey the message, I jump or I draw something. Sometimes I try to please just try to understand me, or I rub their shoulder as a way of praising them, especially in front of their parents. As you can, I think that you know that Turkish people cannot really master the English language. So sometimes parents consult me in order to ask about their children's level in English. And I don't find the right words to express their level to their parents. So I just keep on kissing that child and keep on hugging him in front of his parents so that he can understand that I'm really proud of his son.
I see. And just what about the distance as far as you're connecting to people of another culture, Turkey? So just what is the difference in their space? I mean, just how do you manage with the space of communication?
You mean this, the personal space?
The proximity.
Yeah. Well, Turkish people are not really different from us, but I have encountered a lot of people like from Albania and Romania and Taiwan. These three countries, like you really need to stand far away from them when talking to them. You must not like you must keep like 20 centimeters away from them just to talk to them. And each time I talk to them, I get too close. So they thought that I was a lesbian while I wasn't.
Yeah, we got this interesting example.
It's so embarrassing, actually.
That's really embarrassing. Yeah. So we should mind this and keep this just if we have any contacts with this.
Exactly. So I need to read a lot about that culture before traveling to that country so that I don't get misunderstood again.
I call the police, look fire, man, I'm too hot. Make a dragon wanna retire, man, I'm too